Welcome to the Doc G Show, a radio show cluster. Without further ado, critics have said he has the face for radio and a voice for silent films. Your host, Ben Doc G Gordon.
And we are on the air. Welcome to Doc G Show. I'm your host, Doc G. With me, as always, the one, the only, Mikey Maximus, the Fernicus.
Say what?
Charette.
Doc G, what is good?
Woo! Hey, Mike. How are you?
What's up, man? Yeah, I'm great. I'm great. Yeah,
8.5?
Yeah, 8.5, man. Yeah,
good.
Feel good.
I am not.
I'm pumped. Yeah.
I'm not anywhere close to that.
Sorry.
But we don't need to put a number on it.
Nope. Okay.
There's been a few minor things that have happened since last week, Mike. Mm-hmm. Couple minor. Not anything major, listeners. Listeners, remember last week when me and Mike were in that beautiful innocence? Mm-hmm. Just chatting about adult superstores, not knowing that we were going to sink into a sad autocracy. We're there. We're there. But Mike, I'd like to say we did this to ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Our international listeners know. They're like, you sure did. That is what you did. And you know what? I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I'm not. I'm not. Yeah. Here's my analogy, Mike. America is like the kid that parents keep saying, "Hey, don't touch the stove. The stove's hot. Don't touch the stove. Stove's hot. Don't touch the stove." Everybody in the world was telling us, Mike, don't touch this stove. It's hot.
So true.
The EU told us. Australia told us. Japan told us. Canada told us. Mexico told us. All our allies were like, hey, man, that stove is really effing hot. Well, 75 million of us wanted to touch the stove. A majority of voters, Mike, wanted to touch the stove.
Yeah.
They wanted to touch the stove, even though we know this stove told us he's a fan of Hitler. And we were like, that stove still seems pretty nice. Let's go ahead and touch that thing. Even though this stove told us they're going to be a dictator on day one, we were like, doesn't sound too bad. I'd like to touch that stove. It looks pretty nice. Looks pretty nice. Now, over the next 4 years, possibly forever, we'll see, we all get to see how hot the stove is, Mike. Mm-hmm. That's democracy.
Yeah.
Accepting the will of the people. Mm-hmm. Now, real quick, in the data collected after the election, voters said, Mike, they voted for Trump for his, hold on to your hats, leadership, ability to enact change, and they believe he can accomplish things.
I'm making deals. I'm making deals.
Mike, I could give you 4 million reasons why none of those things are true. Mm-hmm. But I'm not. I will just ask everyone, and no one will follow through with this, but I will ask everyone to keep a tally. Just watch what he does. Just keep a tally of all that changes and keep a tally of his leadership. Let's see how that works out for everybody. Mm-hmm. Now, Mike, you and I, me and you, us.
Yes, we
need to think about the important stuff over the next 4 years.
Of course.
This show.
Oh, yeah.
Woohoo! And guess what? Listeners, you're probably asking yourself, are they still going to waste time and do basically nothing productive? You are correct, listeners.
Yes.
Are we going to be the place where when the world is on fire, we're still going to talk about adult superstores, llamas, and bidets? You got that right, listeners.
Yes.
Are we going to randomly guess the weather in different cities for no effing reason? You bet your sweet we're going to do that.
Yes.
Mike, We will be the constant cluster of a radio show we have always been. That is my promise to the listeners.
Mm-hmm.
And listeners, guess what? Keep a tally. Keep a tally. I dare you. After every episode, ask yourself, was that a cluster? And guess what?
It was.
Exactly, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, after 4 years, you'll go, wow, this show has been a pointless cluster the whole time. Promise made, promise kept, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to fire it up?
Let's fire up this cluster of a show, Doc G.
All 3 engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and lift off.
Woo! Lots of bleeps in that start. Lots of bleeps. Mike, we have a
can't wait to hear it.
fantastic show. Magnificent, super talented, lovely Miss Brandy Denise on the show. My goodness, the stuff she does, Mike. She's a worker. You know, this past summer she was in New York, did over 17 shows in less than a week. 17 stand-ups in less than a week.
That's nice, man.
You know,
that's good. That's
just
good.
Volume.
That's
volume.
a lot of sets.
She was doing the same thing with improv back in the day. I mean, she's acting. Listeners, you might have seen her in Games People Play, Power, the very popular show Power, Power Book 2. She was on Abbott Elementary, Long Division. She's out there. She's doing it all over the place. We talk about her mom. We talk about fitness. We talk about T-Pain. Talk about
T-Pain.
she's friends with T-Pain.
Oh, that's cool.
Exactly. We talk about her getting drunk on set. There was a fake bachelorette party, but there was real booze at the fake bachelorette party, Mike. Can't wait to talk about it all. It's going to be good. But we need to start where we start.
Birthday suit.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
That is correct. I think you got this one. Pretty positive. Born on November 13, 1967 in Brooklyn, New York. In high school, his family moved to Las Vegas. He went to UNLV before transferring to Arizona State. While in high school and college, he worked at radio stations. His first paid radio gig was co-hosting the Me and Him show in Seattle, Washington. He then went to Tampa, then to California. In 1997, he started working on the show Win Ben Stein's Money on Comedy Central. In 1999, he started a show called The Man Show with Adam Carell. In 2003, he left the show to start his own late-night TV show on ABC. The show has become a staple of late night and has been on the air for 21 years. In 2018, Time magazine named him one of the 100 most influential people in the world. Out of the current late-night talk show host, he has hosted longer than any other host. He has also hosted the Academy Awards at least 4 times and the Primetime Emmys at least 4 times. Name that birthday suit wearer.
Kimmy Jimmel.
That is correct in dyslexic form. Yes. Jimmy Kimmel is correct. You know, I'll be honest. When he first got the show, Mike, didn't think it was going to last.
Yeah.
I was a naysayer, you know. He came out, you know, you at the time you had Jay Leno. You had Letterman. I was like, who is this joker? Who is this guy? You know? And now he's been around for 21 years.
Yeah, he's got a lot of show reps, you know.
A lot.
He's got a lot of show reps.
A lot.
So,
you know, and he's really he's solidified. It's in that Johnny Carson realm now of like people, the Kimmel watchers. It's what they do every night, you know.
Yeah.
It's you go to sleep with Jimmy. That's basically it. So
he's
nice.
a feel-good guy. And also, great comedy club. Thank you, Jimmy Kimmel, for your comedy club here in Las Vegas. It's a fantastic room.
That is true. Very true. Happy birthday to Jimmy Kimmel. Turning, let's see, what is he turning? 57? 57. There we go. Happy birthday, Jimmy Kimmel. Nice. Mike, are you ready to rip some headlines?
Let's rip some headlines, Doc G.
It's now time for Ripped from the Headlines.
Whoo, Mike, we can't get away from it. So I'm going to start with the story on the old election here first.
Yeah.
This is from the Independent. Quote, what Donald Trump's presidency could mean for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle amid U.S. visa row. Jeez. Whew. That's good, right, Mike? That's good. Because that was at the top of my list of concerns. Harry and Meghan. Not the climate, not potential wars, not my sanity. No, Meghan and Harry. Mm-hmm. You know, regardless of who the president is, my number one concern will and will always be what's going to happen to two rich ex-royals who hang out in Santa Barbara. I'm pretty concerned. Mike, what's going to happen to them comes right below me being concerned with shaving my face on list of concerns. Should I shave my face? What's going to happen to Meghan and Harry? That's the order. Mike, were you up at night worrying about Meghan and Harry?
No, they're going to be okay.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty sure.
Fine. They'll be fine.
They're going to be fantastic.
They're going to be great.
They're going to have millions of dollars, and they're going to have, I don't know how many kids they have, but however many kids they have, and they're going to do whatever they want, and they're going to gallivant around the world. So
Gallivant, yes.
Yes.
That's a good word.
It's a good word for royals.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Mike, moving on. Got a story from the Good News Movement here. The story was about a family who has a 9-year-old daughter with diabetes, and she has a service dog. Mm-hmm. And the video is of the service dog alerting the family that the daughter has low blood sugar and needs help. And at first I was like, wow, this video is amazing, you know? Mm-hmm. And I started thinking about the video from the dog's perspective. I was like, dog's got to be sitting there thinking like, dude, put the phone down, you p***. Get the insulin. What are you taking a video for me? She's dying. What's wrong with you? Also, if I was the dog, I'd be like, aren't there monitors that do my job? The blood sugar monitors that monitor this 24/7, that send alerts directly to your phone. The phone that you're using to video me right now. Come on, man. Like, seems a little ridiculous.
It's pretty wild that dogs can do that, man.
It's
blows
very
my
impressive.
Mind. Yeah.
But still, there are also monitors that do a better job.
For sure.
No offense to the dog, but they've actually inserted into the bloodstream. So, you know.
Yeah.
Mike, what kind of service animal would you want?
Golden Retriever.
Ooh.
Do they have? They
got plenty of Goldens. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
I'd want a service panda.
Service panda? Okay.
Yeah. He wouldn't help at all.
No.
He'd just look over, just chewing some bamboo, like, yeah. Looks like he's dying.
You're like, thank you. I feel better.
You know? Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, as I slip into this hypoglycemic abyss, thank you for being a panda.
I'm about to have a seizure, but it's going to be nice dying watching you just
exactly.
chill there.
It's going to put me in a good mood as I go down, you know?
Hilarious.
Anywho, Mike, I've got a quick headline. This is a very quick one from Wall Street Journal. Quote, analysis. Does Warren Buffett know something that we don't? I'm going to go ahead and say no, but he does have $150 billion that we don't. So he pays a lot of people to know things for him.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the end of that one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Mike, do you wish you had $150 billion?
Yeah, I do. And I also wish I was as good at picking stocks as that guy. He's got something, man. I don't know what it is.
Let's be honest, Mike. Here's the thing. He was very good at saving money up to the point of where he had millions of dollars. And then once you get to several millions of dollars, it's almost impossible not to steamroll that into a ton of money.
Yeah.
when you're
okay.
not spending it ever.
Yeah.
So true.
Anyways, Mike, I've got a little headline from Page 6. Do you know Jay Cutler?
Yes, but not from. I don't know where I know him from, but I do know that name.
He played in the NFL for 12 years.
No, I have
Now
no
he's-
idea who this is.
He was a quarterback in the NFL. Now he's retired.
Okay.
He was married to Kristen Cavallari from The Hills
Of
and
course.
from the
Oh,
Laguna Beach.
Great reality show.
And exactly, you're going to hear about it later, listeners. And now they're divorced. And just recently, he got a DUI for driving drunk with a handgun in his car.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler, everybody.
So here's the headline, Mike. Jay Cutler and girlfriend Samantha Robertson cozy up at Yellowstone premiere 2 weeks after his DUI arrest. That's good, Mike. That's good. Nothing like a little self-healing by being around some people like yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Because at a Yellowstone premiere, I would guess at least half of the audience are retired, divorced dudes that have at least one DUI.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like the prime target right there. I can relate. I can relate to all of these people. This is nice. I had no clue that Yellowstone was still going on, Mike.
Me neither,
Apparently.
actually. Yeah.
Apparently it is.
That's Kevin Costner's show, right?
yeah, but he's not in it anymore.
He's not in it.
He's left.
He killed himself off.
Yeah, because he didn't want to be a part of it anymore.
Okay.
So, sorry to any dedicated Yellowstoners out there.
Ah.
Mike, are you a
Yellowstoners.
Yellowstoner?
Nah, my dad is. He loves that show. He loves open carrying, too, by the way.
That's sort of it's sort of mandatory, I think, when you're a white dude over the age of 60.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, he loves it.
Mike, I've got a story from People.
Our people.
Quote, why Julie Bowen says her 3 teenage boys are more expensive than horses. I'm going to go out on a limb and say because they're humans and not horses. It's the same reason that I say raising teenage boys is more expensive than a Netflix subscription. That's economics.
That's a fact.
And if you're a person out there right now saying, raising horses is really expensive, then get your priorities straight and don't have 3 kids. Okay? I don't know what to tell you. But, why are you comparing it to horses, Mike?
I don't know.
Because they eat a lot, apparently. That's actually why she was doing it.
But still, yeah.
Plus, who wants horses? I'm sorry, horse people, but it's not dragging me in. I don't want a horse.
Sounds kind of cool, Doc G. Having a horse?
I don't know. I just feel sorry for them. When they're in their fences.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wild horses. They need to roam, man.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It'd be
Mike,
cool to
here's
have
a
horses that could just go off and do their thing, and then they come back every day.
trained horse,
Yeah.
Just to train, it's sort of like a cat that lives outside.
Yeah, exactly.
What cats do, Except the horse wouldn't kill every single mammal within a 5-mile radius like a cat does.
Man, guys. Keep your cats inside, everybody, please.
Mike, I got a really weird headline and a really weird story from Page 6. Here's the headline. Quote, Lamar Odom buys custom sex doll, models it after ex-wife Khloe Kardashian.
Wait, what?
Remember when I started the show last week saying I'm not exactly sure why you would go to an adult superstore? Lamar said, hold my beer, everybody. Not only did he go to an adult superstore, he went in and he was like, I'm going to tell the whole world about this. He knowingly let people take pictures of him check out different sex dolls. And then him and his manager talked to different media outlets and were like, yeah, that's what we did. Yeah. And then you're going to go with one that looks like your ex-wife?
Yeah, very weird.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Go with what you wanted when you married Khloe in the first place. Get one like Kim Kardashian.
There we go.
Or if you're Kanye, get one like Kris Kardashian. Be like, looking for the mom, everybody. It was nice. Like,
Ew.
Mike, how disturbed would you be if you were one of Lamar's friends and he told you this information? Did what?
You go to his house, it's like sitting in the chair. You're
Just-
like, that's it.
And you're like, oh,
That's weird.
did you clean that? Oh,
It's wearing clothes.
just gross, man. Gross. Mike, we got another article from People. Quote, 98 Degrees Jeff Timmons remembers starring with toddler daughter in My Everything video. Now she's 25. Wow. Right? If everybody could just remember who Jeff Timmons is, this story would be so much more meaningful, Mike. Like, who is this for? What is this article? Like, all this article is telling everyone is that a person has aged 24 years. Not even a famous person. This story is equivalent to a headline of Sally Gardner was 30 in 1990. Now she's 64.
Sweet.
Like, that's it. That's all it's doing.
But Doc G, the guy was in 98 Degrees.
Well, that's sort of what I'm thinking.
I mean,
about.
he was a kind of a side guy, sure.
Kinda, little
He
bit.
was a
but,
side guy.
Like, I just thought of the people at People headquarters. Whoever was writing this story was like, this will go over well
I got nothing.
with the millions of rabid 98 Degree fans that are actively searching out for 98 Degree information on the internet. Like, ooh, weird. Mike, I've got a headline from the Huffington Post. Here's the headline, quote, this former airline employee's viral hack is blowing our minds.
Ooh.
Mike, I bet you almost anything this hack will not blow your mind.
No way. Will I click on the hack? Yes, I would.
Are you ready for the mind-blowing hack?
Yes.
If you have an iPhone, you can text yourself your flight code number and it will automatically give you the gate information. That's
What else?
That's it, Mike.
Come on.
That's everything of this hack. And I got to tell you, listeners, that's not a hack. That's a function of your phone.
Yeah.
And if it's blowing your mind, you need to get a better functioning brain. Like, good Lord. And you're not going to need it. When your flight takes off, you're not going to make it there because you're going to be stuck in security, so it doesn't matter anyways.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
come on. Like, who's impressed by this hack? Mike, have you ever had problems finding your gate information anyways?
No.
No. Because there's 10,000 screens everywhere.
Yeah.
And you just go, where am I going? Oh, okay, that's where I'm going. Like, and they're updated instantly all the time.
I mean,
so
it
like,
also says it on your boarding pass and
it's everywhere. Like, it's just like the ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Come on.
Mike, let's go to food.
Let's go to food.
Let's go
What do
to
we
food.
got?
I've
What do we
got
got?
an interesting one from our friends at Chowhound. Quote, has Chick-fil-A ever served burgers on its menu?
I'm going to go with no.
I'm going to go with yes, Mike.
Oh.
Otherwise, this article would be really short. I actually wish it was no. It's just a headline and then a one-word article.
That's great.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, that was all right. Well, I thought we were leading
Thank
up
you.
to something, but no. Okay. But yes, they have, Mike. Those sneaky My Pleasure SOBs have been making burgers this whole time. There are currently 2 Chick-fil-A restaurants that serve burgers. One in Maryland, one in Georgia. 7 years ago, Mike, there were 12 restaurants that serve burgers.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been doing this the whole time, Mike.
That's wild to me.
What's next? We're going to find out that there's some Chick-fil-A restaurants that are open every Sunday throwing Diddy parties. I can't handle it, Mike. I can't handle it. Chick-fil-A is supposed to handle chicken, and it's supposed to be 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Rest on the Sabbath. Good Lord.
I like the cool ads, too. Keep the ads.
Exactly.
With the cows.
Eat more chicken.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're eating more cows, and we didn't know.
I mean,
it.
I guess it's not going against the sign. It's eat
It
more
does
chicken.
say eat more chicken. Not we didn't eat any cows.
Yeah.
So
You know, people stole those cows.
yeah, oh yeah. It's a hot
hilarious.
commodity. You just gotta swipe a cow every now and then.
You show up to a guy's house. Yeah, that's a cow. I stole that one.
And Lamar's like, that's not impressive. This is my sex doll. What do you think?
You go to
Looks
Lamar's
like
house. He's got like 3 cows. He's like, oh yeah, I got the cows too.
It's like, trust me, not at fun at night. That's why I had to get this.
Ew.
Mike, I got a headline from Slate. Here's the headline. Quote, my husband is terrified of passing on one of his small traits to our child. His solution is insane, end quote.
Wait, what?
So, Mike, this story is about a lady whose husband has a tiny wiener, and he's worried about the genetics of passing it on.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Mike, listen to the first 2 sentences of this story. Here it is. Quote, my husband and I have been married for 3 years, and I love him very much. He has a very, very small penis.
Girl, come on.
The second sentence, Mike. The second sentence. You couldn't build him up with platitudes for a couple of sentences.
Yeah.
The second
At
sentence.
least 3 sentences.
Exactly. You hit him with small penis and not small, not very small, very, very small. Like, if you're wondering the reason why he's so worried about passing it on, you just answered it.
That's a fact.
That's the answer right there. Because apparently it's a pretty big deal to you, too. Good Lord. Mike, are you worried about the opposite with your child? You're going to pass on huge genitalia?
I mean, there's just no worries here, Doc G.
Okay. Just, easy breezy either way.
I've got, yeah. Well, I hope there's nothing. I always worry about what about the stuff that you don't know about that's like 3 generations before you, and then you pass the on. You're like, whoa, that's in me.
The secret genetics, the dormant genetics.
Yeah, the stuff that you don't know about. I think that's what I worry about. Other than that, I'm like, they'll be fine. Everything that I have, the wife has.
Worried that your kid is going to try to reenact slavery. Oh no, it was dormant back there. Oh God, he's a horrible kid.
Christopher, what happened?
Exactly.
Get rid of this.
Mike, here comes a headline from In Style. Quote, Jennifer Lopez's friends and family want her to start dating again. Yeah, right, Mike? Because it's worked so well for the past 20 years. Let's do it again.
This time is different.
What's the saying? If you've done something 47 times and it hasn't worked out, just keep doing it. I think that's her situation.
Yeah.
I think that's what. Hey, Jay, get to know yourself.
Get to know yourself.
You don't need a man. What do you think, Mike? A little self time. I think that would be helpful for her. You don't need a Ben.
No.
You don't need a. I forget all the
Mark, Aaron.
Yeah. You don't need all those guys. Yeah, Aaron. Yeah, exactly. A-Rod. I was like, why am I not thinking of Aaron? Oh, A-Rod. There, that's
A-Rod.
because I always call him A-Rod. Mike, last story I've got. This came from a really small outlet, The Daily Dot.
The Daily Dot. Okay.
Quote, man reveals the real reason McDonald's, Taco Bell, and Wendy's ask you to pull around at the drive-thru. So in this article, Mike, his question is why they say please pull around in the drive-thru. And my answer was, because it's better than saying, stay in park for the next 30 minutes. Like, why would you not say? Because it's a filler. Like, of course, you're going to say something. You're not sit there like an idiot for an hour. Like, what? Yeah, you're going to say, go move. Like, what? Then he gives the reason, and he says that they're trying to improve their service time numbers, which makes sense, right? They want to be as efficient as possible and want to make it look like they're not taking a lot of time.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't get the point of this article. Like, apparently there are people that want to refuse pulling up. Like, and then I started thinking about it, Mike. I was like, I guarantee you the people that don't want to pull up at a drive-thru are the same that when they're at the airport, at the slightest hint of the intercom coming on, they're trying to rush up to the gate and be like, can I get on the plane now? Can I get on the plane now? Like, come on. Like, you get closer to the window. Your food's there. That's awesome. Why don't you want to go to the window? Like, I don't. It's ridiculous, Mike. Why would you not want to drive up? Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, why is somebody like, why did they just ask me to pull up? What is going on here? Like, because that's where the food is. Go.
Yeah. I guess, and also you can't just say nothing. You can't just say it's going to be $23.
Exactly. The end.
What next?
Yeah.
Where do I go?
I was about to say, Dane Cook, where do I go? You follow the one road to me. All right, ma'am, you're going to go find a man named Hank. He's in a yellow poncho.
Great bit. Great
It's a
bit.
good one. Good one. Mike, we are going to take a break. We are going to be right back here on the Doc G Show.
Just keep listening. Just keep listening.
Follow around. Pull around, listeners. And we are back here on the Doc G Show. Spinnaker Radio, WSKRLP 95.5 FM in Jacksonville, Florida. Mike, what do listeners need to do?
Well, Doc G, if the listeners feel like the show is a positive way to waste their time, they should please subscribe to the show.
Bingo.
They should subscribe to the show.
Yes.
Wherever they consume their podcasts. Spotify, we're on SoundCloud, we're on YouTube, we're on Apple Podcasts. It's a cost-effective way to support the show. And listeners, if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a 5-star review.
That is correct.
We do.
That is correct. Mike, we need to thank the regulars. Here we go. Let me prepare my list real quick. Okay, now it's prepared. All right, here we go. Shout out to Barcelona, Spain, Winfield, West Virginia, Biloxi, Mississippi, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Peoria, Illinois, Katy, Texas, Toms River, New Jersey, Olive Branch, Mississippi, Asheville, North Carolina, Los Angeles, California, Spartanburg, South Carolina, Athens, Georgia, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Chicago, Illinois, Boynton, Virginia, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Columbus, Ohio, Falkenstein, Germany, Jacksonville, Florida, Columbia, South Carolina, Radford, Virginia, Gainesville, Florida, Frankfurt, Germany, Anoka, Minnesota, Ashburn, Virginia, Piracai, Brazil, San Diego, California, Dublin, Ireland, Boardman, Oregon, Genoa, Italy, and Richardson, Texas. Shout out. There we go. Regulars, Mike. Regulars.
Nice.
They need a round
Great
of
job,
applause.
Dr.
They need a round of applause. You know, they do it for us every week, and we appreciate it. And Falkenstein, way to stick it in there. You guys have been keeping it up. Huh? We appreciate the international listens.
We do.
Piracai, Brazil, getting it. We appreciate the listens. You know, I was thinking about that. I've never really checked my pronunciation of Piracai, Mike. Could probably have been saying that wrong for the last, 7 years. I'm guessing I have, you know?
That's what keeps them coming back.
I was about to say, and kudos to them. They're like, well, we'll still listen to him, even though he's a moron. That's fine, you know? So, hey, we appreciate it, you know?
We do.
Mike, we need to thank the 4-star listens. 4-star listens here. We are going to start with Mountain View, California. Shout out to Mountain View. Next on the list, Cincinnati, Ohio. Coming through with some pretty good listens there, Mike. Next on the list, Lawton, England. Lawton, England. Mike, I'm going to ask you, what's the weather like in Lawton, England?
Lawton, England. I'm gonna say
Now remember, 5 hours forward. 7
Right.
p.m., 5 hours forward. You're at midnight.
I'm gonna say like 45 degrees.
Okay. Pretty good warm-up you had. Pretty good warm-up. 49, Mike. 49.
All right.
Not too far off. Man, that
Dang,
is
I was
one
gonna
of
say 50 too.
that
I
is-
was gonna say 50.
that is one of the most boring weather forecast ever. It's raining, it's cloudy, the high is 51, the low is 47. God, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lawton. That is horrible.
Yeah.
That is horrible. All right, next on the list, shout out to Manchester, England. I'm guessing it's not too much better in Manchester. I'm guessing that's pretty much the same weather there.
Probably not. Yeah.
Cedar City, California. Shout out to Cedar City. Mike, what do you think? Cedar City. So we're going back to...
Cedar City.
Oh, sorry, not California. Utah.
Cedar City, Utah. Ooh, that's...
Now, Mike,
Where are they at?
I was about to say, let me see what the altitude is here.
Yeah.
Listeners, this is important. 5,846 feet, Mike.
Oh, man.
5,846 feet. So remember, we're 4 hours back from East Coast time here. So we're talking 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah. I'm say like 52, 53, 52. I'll say 52.
52. Mike, it's a cold one out there.
Oh, man.
It's a cold one. 42. 42. It's a low, too. A low of 20.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, they got a low of 17 coming. They got a low of 17 coming next Monday.
Yeah,
That.
they're high up there, man. 5,000 feet. That's
You're over a mile. You're over a
Yeah.
mile. Shout out to Budapest, Hungary. Shout out to Denver, Colorado, another mile-high city there. They had like an insane weather blizzard, right? Did you see that, Mike?
no.
Denver blizzard? I don't know if it's actually a blizzard, but it definitely snowed. Colorado faces largest November snowstorm in decades. Mountain towns report 55 inches of new snow after a 4-day
Oh, my
storm
goodness.
in Colorado.
It's a lot of inches.
Pass, Mike. Pass. Do not want to be a part of that, which is why I am here in Florida. San Jose, California. Shout out to San Jose. Seattle, Washington. Shout out to Seattle. This one should be a pretty good one for you, Mike. Honolulu, Hawaii.
Oh, man. 75.
Okay, let's see here. Let me check. I mean, you're going to be somewhere. You're going to be somewhere. If you say anywhere between 75 and 85, you're basically
Yeah,
gonna
right.
be- yeah, well, you got remember the time change, Mike. So 7 p.m., we're 5 hours back. We're at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
What do you think? You sticking with
I mean-
75?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with 75. Maybe 78. Let's say 78.
84.
84.
84, man. Middle of the day. You got a warm, lovely day going on. Just and hey, look at that. High of 84, low of 76. God, that's nice.
Yeah.
Then the next day, high of 83, low of 75. Next day, high of 83, low of 74. Next day, high of 82, low of 74. God, that's nice weather, Mike.
That's nice weather.
That is-
nice weather at a nice place.
That is nice weather. Next on the list, let me get this right. Charleroi, Belgium. Charleroi, Belgium. Apparently, Mike, I looked at this. Apparently, it's supposed to be Europe's ugliest city.
Wait, what?
And you know what, Charleroi listeners, you're not. I'm gonna say that you're not that gross looking. So take that as a point of pride. You're pretty good looking. It's hard to spell, Mike. It's spelled Charleroi.
Okay. It looks okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like these are all just the images that you
Yeah,
see.
they're trying to make you
Yeah.
think that it's a horrible looking place, and I'm like, hey, listen, No, I've seen some places. It isn't that bad. Yes, there's some
Yeah.
industrial waste. There's some other things, but it's fine.
Ugliest city in the world. They call it the ugliest city in the
That's
world.
a big jump, guys. That's a big jump.
Charleroi, we appreciate you.
Exactly.
Even though nobody else does. we
Apparently
think you
not. Not a single person. But anyways, Mike, shout out to all the listeners. We appreciate everybody. We
do.
will be right back with none other than Brandy Denise right here on the Doc G Show. Welcome back to the show, everybody. We are super excited to have an amazing comedian, the one and only Miss Brandy Denise. Brandy, how are you?
I am doing well. I'm in LA. Things are nice. The sun is out. Feeling blessed.
Fantastic. Well, before we got into comedy, I wanted to
Yes.
ask you. I've noticed a good amount of posts on this on social media. Fitness. Seems like it seems like you
okay.
take fitness pretty serious. Now, how long have you been taking fitness serious?
I think first moving from Chicago to LA
Mhm.
kind of started that transition for me. LA is a very, very healthy city, as you could probably assume. But I would
Mhm.
say probably in the last since I know exactly when I did. Around 2020 is when I first got my first personal trainer, and I started getting gym memberships and things like that because I had started booking TV roles, and I was like,
Okay.
oh, people gonna see me. Let me let me go to the gym and keep it together. So yeah. Yeah,
So-
but thank you for noticing that. I'm always very excited when people realize that like I am into fitness. I do like to work out and be active.
What's your favorite thing to do fitness wise?
Honestly, I don't do it as much as I would like to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but I love to play racquetball.
Oh, racquetball.
Mhm.
All right.
It's a high energy, high active activity. Like in 30 minutes, you get a full body workout, cardio, so much cardio, and it's so fun. You know, it's contained. It's like tennis in a box.
Now, how do you think it compares to the pickleball fanatics out there?
I don't know. I don't know when pickleball became a thing, but I'm not into it because pickleball is pickleball's just tennis with a smaller ball, right, and a smaller racket.
Yeah, it's like a wiffle ball
Okay.
and a smaller racket and a smaller court.
See, for me, I don't want to chase a ball, so that's why I like racquetball because it's like, well,
It's just going all over the
yeah,
place.
no matter how hard I hit it, how far I hit it, I don't have to run across a yard to go get it. It's right there, you know. So maybe it's a little lazier,
I know it's always going to be somewhere close to me.
right?
Well, I mean, they sort of go hand in hand, but I also noticed that you also every now and then, like on the stories,
hmm
you do cooking pretty serious. You
I
know?
do. I like to cook.
Now, are you the type of person that it's like you cook to fuel your body, or you work out so you can eat whatever you want to eat?
I think I work out so I can eat what I want to eat. I do. I'm not one of those people that have I had like two cheeseburgers yesterday. I'm definitely not one of those people who, every once in a while I'll do like a little meal plan, but it's so hard for me to eat the same thing consistently.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I think once again, contributing it to LA, I think even living out here in LA, it just changed the way that I eat. I don't eat as unhealthy as I did when I lived in Chicago because I do feel like Chicago just has really good food.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
coming to LA, the food isn't as good. So I think I cook more. And also it's just, it's not weird for somebody to call you and say, hey, let's have a meeting. And it's at a vegan restaurant. And I'm like, oh, okay, I got to pretend to like this buffalo mushroom burger. So then you try it and it's like, hey, it's not that bad. So yeah.
Chicago, everything. It's all cheese. It's all meats. It's
fried. It's
fried.
dipped. It's
Yeah.
dirty. It's so good. It's all the good things.
It is definitely some bad things. Good, bad things.
Absolutely.
Well, okay. Well, on to comedy. I usually take the listeners back. And I usually like to take them all the way back and like give you like inspirations growing up of like, you know, listening to Dave Chappelle and watching old clips of Saturday Night Live. And like, correct me if I'm wrong, but that wasn't really you growing up.
No, it wasn't. I don't remember watching a lot of comedy. You know, now that I think about it, because I don't even really talk about like what I watched growing up. We moved around a lot growing up when I was younger. My parents were in the military. And so I don't ever remember just sitting at home with my family. Like, I wasn't one of those people who watched Saturday Night Live. I didn't watch Martin. Like, my friends always get on my like, you don't know this clip from Martin? I'm like, baby, I don't remember Martin like that. The thing that I do remember watching with my parents is Jay Leno. And I like that memory is very clear. But I actually never even thought about that. But I remember sitting in the bed with my parents and we used to watch Jay Leno every night. Yeah.
There's comedy there.
It's comedy there. But I think that kind of attributed to like my taste in comedy. Like I do remember one of my first experiences with comedy was, and I love to tell this story because I actually got to meet him when I was like, I don't even want to give away my age, but when I was like younger. Do you remember when they used to give those CDs out in the mail?
Oh yeah.
You could send a penny. It was so childish. I think I taped a penny to the thing and like wrote some fake card numbers on there and put my real name on it and sent it to him and just checked off a bunch of CDs. I remember I had like Sixpence None the Richer. It was like Mace. And then subsequently it was like I wasn't familiar with, I knew of Adam Sandler, but I checked off his CDs and I remember getting his CDs and listening to them all the way through. And I thought this was the most best thing ever. Like, this man is hilarious. He is writing funny songs and I did not know that was a thing. And I remember early on I used to write parody songs like in middle school. I had a whole notebook. I would draw pictures and write parody songs by my classmates. And like, so what was it, last November I got to meet him.
Was that was it a nerves moment, or were you able to play it cool? Or
like, literally, you don't understand. It was like, that's my, like, everybody's like, oh, Richard Pryor, whoever those people is. Adam Sandler is my person. I just love his whole career. I love that he's unproblematic. He's just there to create. He's there to entertain. He literally works with his people. When they were in the pandemic, he created a tour to employ his friends because people weren't working. Not in the pandemic, during the strike. And so I got to meet him. He was performing in Washington, D.C. My manager is friends with him. And he was doing a sold out arena. And he was actually working on the tour he has for the special that dropped like a couple of months ago. And so it was my second time seeing him live. I saw him in LA when he was working on his last special. He did that beautiful song dedicated to Chris Farley. And so I got to go backstage and he was so warm. I felt like we were about to be best friends. Like, you know, like he was so warm. He was like, oh my God, Brandy. He sat there and he talked to me. He's like, so where are you living? Like, where are you performing? So I'm trying to, you know, like be cool, be calm, but also like let him know like I'm hurt. So I'm sitting there like, yeah, you know, I just got back from New York. I just got past the cellar. Like, let him know like I'm working.
I'm doing things.
I also live in LA. I got a show at the Comedy Store next week, but I love you and And he's like, oh yeah, that's so cool. He's like, I would love to see some of your stuff. He asked my manager to send him some of my stuff. And then like at the end of the conversation, he's like, let's get a picture. We take a picture. And then he's like, I'll see you soon. And I held on to that so tight. I'm like, we're gonna work together like next month. And so he is actually filming another Gilmore.
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore. And I definitely hit up my manager like, what's up? What is up?
I need a part.
Yes. Like, what is there any women? And it shouldn't even gotta be a woman. Do you need anybody of color? I'll be a man. For Adam Sandler, I'll be a man. What do you need from me?
just tell me how to act. We'll get it.
Yes, right. Send me the script. What do you need? Anything. I can be an Asian boy. I can do it all. Like, what does Adam Sandler need from me? And it was funny because we took a picture together and it was my screensaver for such a long time. And then I started realizing like, if you just glance at my phone, it just looks like a picture of me and an older white man. And somebody looked at my phone one day and was like, "Is that your sugar daddy?" And I was like, "Let me take this down."
No, you should just put a title over it of me and Adam Sandler. So yeah. So you can, so they know. You're like, there you go. That's it.
Yeah. But no, that was one of those moments where they're like, "Don't meet your heroes." I got to meet my hero, and he was amazing.
There it is. There it is. It's always good to hear when they're not heads. That's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
it was
nice.
great.
Well, I know you mentioned your mom and your dad moving around because of the military, but I noticed your mom retired, and when she retired, she was in Nassau County, right above us.
Yeah.
Now,
Yep.
did you
Right
grow
there.
up there or no?
Yeah, so I went to high school there. I went to some middle school there, and then I moved to Tallahassee and graduated from FAMU. When my mom retired, and like her retirement anniversary was just yesterday, 2 years from Nassau County Sheriff's Department. She was a 911 dispatcher, and I love her for that. I actually flew into town to surprise her at the retirement ceremony, and in my head, I didn't know. So my mom's like, "I'm retiring. They're having a ceremony for me." That's all I hear. I'm flying in. I got her like a designer purse. I'm walking in with designer bags and flowers. And like, I got there late, but nobody in my family had told my mom. So I'm walking in and they let me in because they all know like I'm her daughter and I flew in from California and stuff. So they're all like, "She's in the front." So I walk in, it's like literally 150 people in the room. And I'm still thinking they just honoring my mom. I didn't know that they did this like quarterly. The sheriff did this to like also not recruit people, but what is it when you give somebody a better job? Yeah. So he was promoting people. He was retiring. It was like 2 rows of people who were getting things done. And so I walk in and the sheriff's like, "Well, okay, hey, just take a seat and da 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 da." And I'm like, "I'm Grace's daughter. I'm here for Grace. I'm here for Grace." And he's like, "Okay, well, just have a seat." And he's like, "And next we would like to thank this sheriff." And I'm like, "Oh, this is not just about her."
You were like,
I made so much. I had on a big dress. My nephews are running up to me. It was just such a diva moment. And I was like, "I'm so sorry."
You were like, "This is all for Grace. If you guys could just go ahead and leave, everybody else, we need
definitely crash the sheriff's ceremony." The sheriff, and then my mom's like, "That's my daughter. She's in college." It just became all about me coming in, and I was like, what am I doing right now?"
You got it back to your mom there eventually. It worked.
It was definitely like a scene out of a movie. Like, this girl is just oblivious.
Well, you mentioned, so you went to FAMU down I-10 there in Tallahassee, and so you didn't go for theater, you didn't go for film, you were majored in political science and minored in biology and journalism.
Oh, you did your research. I like that. Thank you.
I do it. Well, was comedy on your mind at all when you started?
No, I wanted to be an optometrist.
How did you decide on the combo platter of all of those majors? I mean, that's pretty diverse.
It is. So what happened was I went to school. I was a journalism major, and I learned quickly. The students at FAMU took their journalism very, very serious, and I realized by my sophomore year that I did not care enough about it to be at the top of it. Like, they were in clubs, they were in the Black Journalists of America, I was in the Public Relations Society of America. I was paying all these dues to be a part of all these different clubs, and I was just like, I don't even want to write this much. Like, I was taking radio classes. I had tried to join the radio station. I went into one of the meetings and it was too small. I passed out. I said, I can't do this. Like, literally, they had to catch me and carry me out and wake me up. Like, "Are you okay?" And I never went back into that studio again.
You're like, no, I'm not.
I had my radio name ready. It was going to be Forever Real. Like, I had my DJ name ready. I'm still friends with some of the people who are in journalism, and they work in radio and TV now. And it's amazing to see them because sometimes I see them out in Hollywood at events, and I'm like, "Hey, I remember you from freshman year when I passed out in the radio station." But I realized that I'm the type of person, like, if I'm not going to be good at it, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And so I took all the credits I had, and I was like, well, now it's a minor. And then I was like, let me lean into optometry, which is something that I really wanted to do. And then I went and did some research, and I went and job shadowed my childhood optometrist.
Yeah.
And I spent a day with her, and I was like, absolutely fine. And so I took all my biology credits, and I made that a minor. And then I went and met with the dean. And they said, well, you have these credits here. You have these credits here. And it was like getting into I think I was in my junior year. They said, you either got to finish journalism or you got to finish biology. And I was looking at biochemistry like 2. And I was like, no, I'm not taking no more biology classes. And I don't even want to be an optometrist. No more chemistry classes. And I don't even want to do optometry anymore. So I ended up, they took all my credits and they said, well, honestly, what you have the most credits leaning towards is something in the arts. And back then I was into Wanda Sykes. I was into a lot of political comedians. I remember reading Wanda Sykes' book. And before I even started comedy, I remember reading her book and thinking like, I want to do something along the lines of what she's doing. I like what she's doing. I like her life. I like the way that she's able to go with the flow, create what she wants. And then it's always the support behind it. And I was like, if she did it, I could do it. So still wasn't thinking about stand-up, but I was like, maybe I'll be a political commentator or a political person on the news, because I was always on stage. So I was thinking like something with the stage and something with politics, political science. And I actually enjoyed it. And I finished out my last 2 years as a political science major. And I enjoyed that. And I enjoy writing for that. And it was just, it became more of a thing. And so when comedy did come around, I was like, oh, maybe I'll be like a political. I still wasn't comedy. It was just like, I'll be talking about politics in a funny way. Yeah. And I just was like, how do I take what I am with what I like? How do I put these two together? And I still didn't know. And people were just like, you gotta try stand-up, you gotta try stand-up, you gotta try stand-up. And I heard it so much. And I went to a comedy club to go watch a mutual friend of ours. And he was up there. He was doing okay. Every time he told a joke, I hit with a tag. And I'm at the table. People are crying. So he gets off stage. Everybody that came to see him, they're like, yo, that was a great show, but she is funny. And I was like, I could do, and I hate to be one of those people that's like, I could do this. Like, you see somebody doing something, like, I could do this. But like in my heart, I was like, hey, I could do this. And so I remember my last semester, I took like the most amount of credits you could take. I think I took like 21 credits. Like, you can't take more than 21. I was like, I got to get out of here. So I took 21 credits. I wrapped it up, and I knew I wanted to do stand-up. So I have been working on my set, like the 4 months leading up to. I said, I'm gonna go ahead and graduate first. As soon as I graduated, 2 weeks later, I was at the Zone, Tallahassee, on open mic night. I handed my mom my diploma and was like, here you go, because I was the first person in my family to graduate from college. I handed my mom my diploma, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do stand-up now.
What was her response to that?
She was like, okay. But at the same time, I always still had a job, like, so I was working for the Department of Education in Florida. I worked for the wildlife conservation in Tallahassee as well. I did that as a part-time job. I've always had jobs working with like the state or the government. And so she was like, whatever, as long as you pay your own rent, do whatever you want to do. You got a job, have fun. Have fun.
Well, now,
but my mom's a very funny person, my mom and my father. So I don't think it was ever, I didn't come from one of those families that's like, you need to do this, like they're extremely funny people.
Nice.
And
nice.
So, yeah.
Well, now, I guess I start. You mentioned you've been working on your set, so you came into that first open mic with like a game plan.
Not even that. It was a comedian who I don't even know. I don't think he does comedy anymore. He might be an author now, but his name was Champ. He was the best open micer there, and everybody was like, kind of like he's the man. He kills every 5 minutes every time. Like the best open micer. And so I made friends with him. And I said, hey, this is what I want to do. I went to his house like 2 or 3 times running my jokes in front of him before I even went on stage. When I tell you I don't like to do stuff that I'm bad at, that's a crippling fear. I'm not, I will beat to me before I get up there and embarrass myself. So I was practicing at this guy's house for the open mic. Like, yeah. And I actually still have a tape of it. It's on my YouTube. It's private, and nobody will ever see it. But I watch it every now and then to remind myself of my very, very humble beginnings. But I've always been a joke writer.
Now, was like, and it went as planned that first, like, I mean, that open mic, you were like, because I hear a lot of comedians, you know, they got the plan and then they get on stage and then it just sort of goes out the window. Like,
no, I was very performative. I had practiced it. Like, even when I went to his house and practiced, I was in front of a mirror. He made me watch myself do the jokes. I don't do that stuff anymore now, but I knew when I was gonna walk to that side of the stage, when I dropped this punchline. It was a performance. Yeah. Because I mean, in high school and stuff, I did theater, so I had done acting and things like that before, so it was a performance.
Yeah. Well, now, how I was gonna say, like, how has that changed now? How has it evolved? Like, when you do stand up now, how do you how's the preparation? How's the change different?
I would say now, you know, I like to have quiet time. Like, if I'm out on the road and I'm like headlining or something like that, I like to have quiet time. I would go out on the road, comedians say, oh, let's get dinner before the show. I don't like to eat heavily. I don't like to go to dinner and socialize with people. I kind of like to save up all of me to like let it loose on stage. It's a thing. Like, and I love going out on the road with people who get that, because I don't want to talk to you or be on right now. I just kind of want to nap for 6 hours before the show. I want to get up. I want to have a small meal. I want to go through my notes, and I want to show up, because it's on top of performing for the crowd. Yeah. You know, after you still giving so much of yourself, because I want to shake hands. I want to sell merchandise. I want everybody to feel like they had a genuine, good experience with meeting me as well. So it's just, I'm like giving myself to 250 or however many people are there, giving myself to that many people. So I like to kind of take that day and be a hermit. You know what I'm saying? Like, not wash till like 5 o'clock, you know, just I want to lay in the hotel bed and like watch murder mysteries and just not talk.
That's a crazy. I saw an interview with Neil Brennan where he was talking about like the genius of Dave Chappelle, and how he had talked about Dave Chappelle could like literally just be having a normal conversation with somebody, and then literally a minute later turn around and go on stage and just start, and like it just, there's no switch, there's no getting in the zone, there's no relaxing. I'm just like, what kind of weird robot is that dude? Like, it's completely, it's a completely another world.
I think that there is that aspect. I mean, it's not I don't always get the luxury of being able to, like, you know, shut down and go perform. Sometimes you are going from, you know, a conversation or one show to another show. Now, I will say, if I have multiple shows in a night, like if I have 2 headlining shows, like it's some kind of like serotonin or endorphins or something in that first show, because like even doing New York, I did a run in New York this summer, and I'm like I'm doing 4 to 5 shows a night, man. By that 4th to 5th show, it's like I'm literally running off the high of the other shows. It's just like I felt like I would wake up the next morning like, damn, were you drunk last night? It wasn't that I was drunk, it was just so like this, I don't know, it's just something in it. Yeah, it's a high. You got hundreds of people laughing and clapping at you and being like, you're amazing. Like, I'm on drugs right now. This is great. But give me more.
I saw that you said you performed 17 times in a week. Like,
in New York, you know what? And okay, so I can see why you would think it's insane, because in Florida, their stage time is not available. In Chicago, it was available. It like literally when I was coming up in Chicago, like just moved to Chicago and I was going to open mics, it was not unusual to go to 4 or 5 mics in one night. And so I remember I used to calculate, like I hit 24 rooms this week. Like, you know, it was important, because it was like they had so many, and especially if you get on time slots and stuff, I guess like, okay, well, I can go here. And I like cities like that. Austin kind of has that vibe. New York has that vibe, especially when I come to New York, because it's like I'm passed at a couple of the clubs and then I know a couple of people. So it's like once I'm like, I send out a couple emails, make a couple text messages. Everybody's like, can I get you here? Can I get you here? Can I get you here? And so in New York, if you do the shows in that wherever the Cellar and the stand and stuff are. That's like a 6-minute, 7-minute ride away from each other. And you could, then the cellar also has 4 rooms in there. The stand has 2 rooms in there. I could do 4 shows at the cellar and then do 2 shows at the stand. And that's 6 shows right there. And you know what I'm saying? LA does not have that. I hate that for us. But also the traffic, it would never work that way.
It's getting the reps.
Yeah. But they didn't have that in Florida. We had you go to Birds on Wednesday, and that is what you do. Even in Jacksonville, even when I'm there, I'm like, where's the
you got about 3 options. That's about it. That's about it. Well, going back to Tallahassee real quick. This was one thing I noticed. I was on Instagram and you had some lovely pictures of yourself. You were I think we were in Austin. And you were in a bikini, and I started scanning the comments because that's always funny. And
I know exactly what picture you're talking about.
Yeah, and I see this one comment that's super long, and it's talking about how the person laughs, thinking about what angles and positions the person taking the pictures had to be.
I know exactly whose comment you're talking about. T-Pain.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is then I look over, I'm like, who is saying this? And then I look and I'm like, it's T-Pain.
T-Pain.
And then I realized you know T-Pain.
T-Pain. Yes, I do know T-Pain.
And I saw in the picture where because you were in the studio with him one day, and he had a shirt. And the shirt he has, it's different positions of photographers getting pictures. And I was just like, T-Pain really loves the idea of taking pictures from different angles.
He's really into photography.
How long have you known T-Pain?
Maybe 2 years now. Okay. I've always known of him. I've always been a super fan. Yeah, because you know he came from Tallahassee. Exactly. When he was coming up, I remember not even being old enough to be in the club and seeing him perform, the songs that we all know now. And I was always a fan. And I knew friends in college who knew him, but I never knew him. And so he had come out to LA to do a show. And I bought tickets. I do a joke about it. It's a bit about it on my page. I bought tickets and I got scammed.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It was some girl, sweet girl. She had a Jesus in her profile and horses. So I'm like, yeah, she wouldn't lie to me. I turned into my mom. I turned into an old person real quick. That's how thirsty I was for them T-Pain tickets. She was like, yeah, my dad's sick and I can't get him. Just send me and I'm like, well, it's not working. And she's like, oh my God. And she's still replying to me. She ain't blocked me or nothing yet. She's like, I don't know why it's not working. And I'm just like, well, what's up, Brittany? Help me. I need the tickets, And so then she's just like, well, I don't know why it's not working. She was like, well, can you try and send the money this way? I'm like, I'm not sending you money. Where the tickets at? So I realized that I had gotten scammed. My bank wouldn't even give me my money back because it was a Cash App. And it's just we're not playing with that. So what happened was she scammed me. You could see right here I got scammed. I sent her the money. She told me to send her some more money. Y'all, I need to see T-Pain in concert. Everybody's tagging T-Pain. T-Pain, help my friend. T-Pain, help my friend. T-Pain, help my friend. I was like, and I don't know. I was like, I know I'm getting old because I'm getting scammed. And so I'm doing all this. People are tagging him. Not hearing back from T-Pain. I'm hitting up all my LA friends. How can I get in here? Because it's also an exclusive club that he was performing at. I think it was a very intimate setting. It was for his album On Top of the Covers or On the Covers. It was probably maybe 150 people. And so my homegirl hits me up and she goes, hey, I'm gonna be in LA. What you doing? Just seeing what you were doing. And I was like, oh yeah, I got a couple shows. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm gonna be hosting for the T-Pain concert. She's a comedian out of Chicago that I know. I'm like, I forgot you on his podcast. I forgot you work with him. I forgot. She said, girl, why you just tell me you wanted the tickets? I said, also, I didn't want to bother you, but also I forgot. So she literally just yeah, just come. And so I go, I'm hanging out with her. Her name's Vanessa Fraction. Shout out to her. I go, I'm hanging out with her. She introduces me to him. And so when I meet her, she's like, oh, this is my good friend. She's a female comedian, da, 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 da. And I'm like, hey, yeah, I was trying to get tickets to your concert. I actually got scammed. I was like, it was me. I was the one who got scammed. And then his wife is like, oh yeah, we saw that. And he goes, yeah, I might have seen it. And then like after that, I did karaoke with him, and then I went back and I hung out. I got to give him his flowers. And then like ever since then, it's just been a very like, good, supportive friendship, honestly. And I've
Nice.
been to his home in Atlanta when I had a show down there. Him and his wife will tap in when they come to LA. It's just been
Nice.
fun. Yeah.
Nice. Always good to have T-Pain in your corner. That's good.
Amazing.
That's good. Now, so you're obviously you're a multitasker when it comes to comedy. I mean, stand up, yes, but you do improv, you act. Was that always the plan? Like when you started stand up, was it like this is the first step and then I'm going to be doing all these other things?
No. Acting didn't really come into my orbit until I moved to LA. And I think it's just because like as much as people are like, move to New York, move to LA, I think for the most part, if you want to act, LA is the place to be. At least it used to be. It's not as much anymore now because you don't have to be in person for a lot of things. But I will say just being out, people seeing you, it is very much easier it's easier to get seen. So what happened was I have been doing all the clubs out here for the most part. I didn't come here as an open micer. I kind of came here with some references, and I was already passed at the Laugh Factory, and so I'm doing these clubs. I'm out here first year auditioning for JFL because I already had a connection from Chicago, and so it was a manager who had been. I would go to shows and she would just be there, and I was like, why does this white lady keep every time I go to a show she here? And then like finally after one of the shows, she pulled me aside and said, hey, I've been coming to see you. I really like you. I want to sign you. So we had a meeting, and 1 year out here, I got my first manager, and in my head, I'm about to go on a world tour now. She's seen me. She know what's up. And so no, none of that happened. I was with her for a year. I think I got one test pilot, and she gave me 2 auditions, 2 of which I did not want to do. I was like, I don't act. I'm a stand-up comedian. And she was just like, can you just do the audition? Out of the 2 auditions she sent me, I did 1, and I booked it. And that was my first TV role, and it was on Power, and it was a recurring character on the biggest show on Stars.
Yeah. Well, now, I mean, like you said, so you were sort of reluctant going into acting. How once you started doing it, because when you were in Chicago, you were doing improv all the time. How did acting compare? Because obviously it's a completely different world than doing stand up and doing improv. Once you started doing it, how did it compare, and how did you like it?
Acting is harder than improv. I think acting is harder, but I think it's easier to learn. Like when I say it's harder, I don't mean harder like it's a harder thing to do. I think it's more work. Like, you're on set for a 3-minute scene for 6 hours. It's more work. It's more chefs in the kitchen. When you're doing improv or even stand-up, how can I entertain the people in front of me? What can I do in front of me? And when you do TV, it's not so much as like who's in front of you, because the people in front of you not gonna fucking laugh because we on set and they not allowed to laugh. So you don't feel the energy. So you really gotta know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't vibe through the script. With the jokes, you can vibe through the jokes. Like, okay, well, they like this. I can lean into that. That's not how acting works. But I do enjoy acting. Acting is a way bigger payday than improv. As we all know, improv don't pay nothing. But I enjoy acting. I like it too, because I feel like it for me, it's a little more challenging because it's like, oh, this is something I have to try. I have to work. I don't necessarily have to try with improv. I don't have to try with stand up. So acting is something that is, I have to put in effort. I have to actually focus and do things like that. So I like it. And then rewards are all the reward is the payout at the end. And then you get to be seen by so many more people. Like if I get noticed from anything, like now, people are like, oh, you're a stand-up comedian. I've seen your stuff because it's been on TV. But before that, only thing I had on TV was me acting. And so when I tell people will come to my a video of me on BET or on Stars or ABC, like even I did Abbott Elementary, people was like, oh, I didn't know she did stand up. Like, I don't know, people think I'm an actress that turned into a stand-up comedian, but it's never been that way. So yeah.
Well, I mean, that is, you mentioned it's super exciting. I think it was last month you were on the Tonight Show.
Oh, yes.
Now, I mean, that's granted, Jay Leno's not there anymore, but like, I mean, that's what you grew up watching. I mean, did you have some nerves going into that one?
I think the night before, because like, shout out to Michael Cox. You know, he was very hands-on and just kind of like, you know, giving me like all the lay down, you know, the rules. And because I know that it's such a short amount of time, it is basically like live. I mean, obviously they could edit things out, but you know, you get one shot, you know. So it felt a little pressure, but I will say this, I didn't feel nervous that I wouldn't do well. I felt very prepared walking into that, because there have been times where people are like, do you want to submit to the Tonight Show? And I said no, because I didn't feel prepared. And this one, I felt excited because I felt prepared. But the one moment that it wasn't even nerves. So the 48 hours leading up to it, my manager was there. He took me to dinner. I'm hanging out with friends. I'm crashing at friends' places. I'm hanging out with the booker so we could go through the set. I met Fallon. I know some of the people on the Roots. I'm like, shout out to Black Thought. I'm like around people for 48 hours the entire time, except for when I was taking a shower. And so the only time I got to be in the hair and makeup and everything else, so the only time I got to be alone in that 48 hours was like when I was behind the blue curtain, and I could literally hear Jimmy saying, you know, making her Tonight Show debut with the podcast, you know, and like literally my eyes started filling up tears, and I'm like, you cannot walk out here crying. Like just coming from behind the curtain. I'm
Hey
like,
guys,
God, thank you guys. Oh, so I was like, suck it up. But that moment was just filled with gratitude. And then once I like released that, it was like, let's rock and roll. Let's go. Let's get it. You're supposed to be here.
You had a fast composure time. That was good. That was good.
Very quick turnaround.
I was about to say I didn't even see it. Watching the set, didn't even see that. Not a hint of tear going on at all.
Oh my God! Yeah, I sucked it up real fast. As soon as I felt it in my chest, I said, no.
Well, real quick there, as far as like back to the acting, what has been your not like just the favorite experience of acting? What was the most fun you had acting? Because like you mentioned, you've done a lot of things, Games People Play, Power Book 2, Abbott, Long Division. What was the most fun?
Oh, okay. Let me think. I could think of one day. So in Games People Play, I was a series regular on that. So I probably Games People Play just because I had more experience. I was there 5 days a week for months. And I was, built a strong bond with the cast. Yeah. We had shot a theme where I was having my fake bachelorette party, or my character's bachelorette party. And we were in a club in Atlanta, and it's dark and it looks like it's nighttime, but it's like probably noon. And the cast, we had snuck in a bottle of liquor. And so we were kind of like vibing for real, and it was like we had male strippers and stuff around. He's picking me up. We throwing fake money. I'm like, yo, this pretty work. Like, I am not mad about this day at work. Like that was a fun day. That was easier acting right there. Absolutely. I'm like, oh, like pretend to like this gorgeous man. That's not gonna be hard. It's not gonna be hard at all. Like, I mean, and we were throwing so much money. I was like, this is fun. You're like, I wish I had this fake money. It would be nice. They had the strippers in there. They were on the pole. I'm throwing money at them. I said, this is okay. I can get used to this. Yeah, what people talk about, making it rain. I like doing this. It's nice. Yeah. Well, you're like a lot of my recent guests in the fact that you got a whole bunch of things going on. So I feel like I missed a whole bunch of things that you've been doing. What are you most excited about, like coming up, that you're a part of, that you want to tell our listeners about? So, two things.
Okay.
So, Will Ferrell has a company,
Mhm.
and I have a old comedy comrade of mine from Chicago who wrote a scripted podcast for it, and it's me, Langston Kerman, and Brashear. He was on Southside. We are the three leads of that, and it's called Judge Travis. And when I tell you, sometimes you get gigs and it's just like, let me just do my job. They're paying me to do this job. I'm gonna do this job. But we only filmed 3 days, but I cannot wait for this project to come out. It is so funny. It is so funny. And then like to be voice acting and like they let me tag it up. And then, you know, I did a day with Brashear, and he plays that character so well. It's like a version of like a Judge Mathis, but he's just roasting everybody on TV. It's like Judge Mathis meets Steve Harvey, and he's a rich judge who like, he's so unethical. He doesn't know, but he has a TV show, and I'm the bailiff. So I'm just like, yeah, Judge. Like, I really hope it gets picked up for a TV show. I'm really happy that Will Ferrell's production company is behind it. I feel like they've really put in a lot of hard work. When it drops, we're going to have a great promotional rollout for it.
Nice.
I hope that it gets the recognition that it deserves, just because not even that things aren't good now. It's just such a saturation of so much. So I hope that it gets the recognition that it deserves. And then in August, I shot my first half-hour long-form content with Don't Tell Comedy, produced by Don't Tell Comedy, and Kevin Hart's Heartbeat, LOL Radio. And so 7 cameras, the director, Marcus Russell, was amazing. The team was great. Like, it looks so good. It looks Netflix ready, baby. And they sent me the first run of it, and I couldn't be prouder of like the content. I'm like, yeah, this is good. So I'm really excited that that'll be my first form of long content that people can see. We're still waiting for the air date and the drop date and all those things, but yeah, the scripted podcast, Judge Travis, and then the half-hour special.
Now, are you shopping the half-hour special around like different streaming services or things like that? Or are you going to release it yourself?
No, they put a lot of money into that. They're doing that.
Okay.
So,
you just don't know when they're going to release it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or where to land, but I know they have some of the streamers in mind. It'll go somewhere. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. And it's actually, they shot 10 of us. They got some pretty good names on there.
Is there a title associated with that?
LOL Presents.
LOL Presents.
LOL Presents. So it'll be LOL Presents Brandy Denise. LOL Presents Daphne Springs. LOL Presents Ken Flores. And like, you know, so they shot 10 of ours. So it's a series.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. LOL Presents Brandy Denise and Judge Travis.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm excited about both. Well, Brandy,
thank you.
I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know you're a busy person, but I want to thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me. This was such a fun interview. And also, thank you for doing your research. I'm like, okay. You knew I'm minors. That's crazy. Let's go.
I try. Listeners, make sure you check out all things Brandy, including Judge Travis and LOL Presents and her podcast, I'm Not Crazy. We'll be right back here on the Doc G Show. And we are back here on the Doc G Show. You just heard Brandy Denise. My goodness, Mike. Just one of those people that's grinders, you know? Yes! She's just always out there. And you can tell, like, when she was talking about first doing stand-up, I can't remember. I know we've talked about the first time you did stand-up, but did you have a full worked out set in your head? Like, had you practiced it a bunch, like before you did your first open mic?
I think I ran through it a couple times, like
Yeah.
2 or 3 times, but I wasn't too shy about bringing my notes on stage just because I knew.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like if I were in her shoes, I would do a bit, because it's like researching for an interview, Mike. I like to be prepared.
yeah,
Now, I do feel like, though, I'd also be like Felipe, and I'd get on stage, and it would just all go right out of my head. And I'd be like, oh, what did I say? Oh, I forgot everything. Oh, no. Okay, I'm just going to point things out now. Hey, you're wearing a shirt. Look at that shirt. That's crazy. Like, it's just, yeah.
Anybody in here dating?
Have you ever, guys, how about eating? Have you ever tried eating, anyone? Like, yeah, it's, but like, I mean, that's the thing, man, reps. She's about those reps, like thousands of improv reps, thousands of stand-up reps. And when you've done that many stand-up reps, you're ready to go. You're ready to go, And she got to meet Adam Sandler. That had to be cool.
Cool.
Had to be fun,
Yeah.
Adam Sandler seems like a guy, like she said, meet your heroes. He's a guy that you'd be like, yeah. I saw an article just the other day about him and his legendary pickup basketball game that he always does. He still does. He's like 60 years old. He's out there. He'll just walk onto a court randomly in New York and be like, let's play some ball. And you're like,
Oh man, never again.
you're like, who's that old dude? Like,
I tried playing some kids in New York. They were just a pickup game in New York City. Oh my god, I got crossed by like a 10-year-old.
Dude, you
I'm
gotta-
never doing this again.
you gotta choose. You gotta choose your court. Scope it out before you go in there.
Oh my god, I got destroyed.
Scope out the level of talent and go, okay, I can hang with
yeah.
this one. I can hang with this one. You don't want
These were
to.
regulars, man. It was
You don't
a
want to just
huge
show up
mistake.
to Rutgers and be like, oh, these guys are doing 360 dunks. I think I should be fine here. No, you will not. Mike, we need to move on. Well, first, thank you, Brandy, for coming on the show.
Yes,
Really
thank you, thank
appreciate it. Mike, we need to move on to the fastest growing segment in the world.
Mike C, top 3.
Bingo. Mike, you chose, at first, you were going to go with the narrower topic of early 2000s reality shows. And I said, let's just broaden it.
Yeah.
Let's just do a full reality shows. So I got a couple that, like, I don't know if they're, like, really reality shows.
Yeah, me too.
But I put them on there. So,
Yeah.
do you have honorable mentions, Mike?
Oh my god, I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 12. honorable
Wow.
mentions.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
I'll
gonna
just run through them.
You're gonna do 2 for each one of my 1 because I have 6. So
Okay.
First on my list, Mike, Storage Wars.
Oh, Storage Wars. Ah, what a good
Storage
one.
Wars wasn't there that
Yeah.
long, but I got pretty excited. Even though I'm pretty sure every single one of those storage containers were staged and nothing
Yeah.
was real on anything on that show, I still was like, "What's in there?" Oh
Yeah.
my God, is that worth a lot? That is cool. So it was fun. I think it lasted 3 seasons, or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess there's. Yeah.
Mike, you got. Give me 2. Give me 2.
Pimp My Ride.
Oh, I should have had that
And-
on there. Should have had that on there.
I mean, I know this is, whatever. Keeping up with the Kardashians. I watched a couple episodes. It's just when I turn on my TV, it's always Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and now I have to like sit there for 10 minutes and be like, all right, I'll watch this.
I mean,
Yeah.
Mike, I've never watched any episode at all.
Nope.
But I will give it to them. They are like the quintessential reality show family.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can't not.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, I'll give it, like, if we were given it just, like, most impactful, I would have to give it to them. Like,
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah. Good show.
my next one, Jackass.
Yeah.
And that, again, that's another one that I was like, is that really a reality show, Because it's not really. Like,
Well, it's not scripted.
Yeah,
I mean, I
but
don't
they're
think it was
real and they're
Yeah.
doing dumb things. So
That's
like,
a show.
and I saw it. I
Episodes.
saw it on a list of reality shows, and I was like, if that's a reality show, but since it wasn't like in the true sense of one, I didn't put it in my top 3. That's why. Like, if I felt confident about it being a reality show, it'd be in my top 3 because it's awesome and it's hilarious, and there are so many goofy
yeah.
things that they've done that are the best. Anyways, Mike, your next one. Or 2.
Hulk Hogan's reality show
Yeah,
was
yeah.
good, mostly for Brooke Hogan. And then Robin Big, that was an
Oh,
MTV show.
I forgot about Robin Big. Oh
Yeah, that was a
man,
good one.
that might
was
have
a
been
good
on
one.
my top. That should have been on my top 3.
Yeah,
Robin
Robin
Big
Big.
and Fantasy Factory.
Fantasy
Both.
Factory,
Both of those.
good follow up.
Oh man, you know what? Honorable mention. I'm putting it in there now. Both of those definitely go on my honorable
Yeah,
mentions.
for sure.
Next on my list, the Osbournes.
Oh yeah, that was gonna be one of my next ones too. Honorable mention, yeah, the Osbournes.
You just fall in love with Ozzy, man. You know, I mean, he's just so like he's the Prince of Darkness. He's this crazy metal rock guy, and then you find out he's just an old crazy dad, and that's
Yeah.
it. You know, and he dotes. And the way they put the music on that show, you like go in there, ding 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 ding. And just be doing
Yeah.
something good. And remember, connection to the show, the dude that opened up for Lewis Black was the guy that wrote
Yeah.
that show,
Yeah.
right? Wild connection,
Yeah.
connection. Anyways, Mike, 2 more of yours. What do you got?
Wife Swap and John and Kate plus 8.
Never watched either of those.
Oh man, Wife Swap was awesome, and then John and Kate plus 8. Man, I think I went all the way to the divorce. I watched all of them.
I just remember with Wife Swap, Chappelle Show making fun of it.
Oh yeah.
Where he did the super gangster dude with the super white lady, just yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good sketch.
Good sketch, man.
That was a good one.
Next on my list, Jersey Shore. It's a classic. I mean, come on. I mean, there are so many things that came from
For sure.
Jim Tan Laundry. Like, you just got so many classic things. That like from I think it was on from like 2009 to 2012, somewhere in that ballpark. But yeah, Mike, what 2 more that you got on the honorable mentions?
Yeah, so I did have Jackass, but so I'm gonna go also MTV Cribs and Dirty Jobs.
Oh, Dirty Jobs. Oh,
Yeah, Mike Rowe, he's the man. He's got a podcast now
I can't
too.
believe I forgot Dirty Jobs.
Dirty Jobs. Yeah.
Mike, I've always said, like, I wish I could have that without the dirty part. Like, I wish I could do that show, but with just jobs.
Yeah.
Like, just go around and do other people's job for one day and be like, oh, that's pretty cool. I appreciate what you do. All right, moving on to the next thing. Like, because, like, everybody's job seems pretty cool for one day.
Yeah.
Like, you do it one day and you're like, that's not bad. I sort of
Yeah.
like that. Oh.
Yeah.
Traffic cop? That seems fun. You're waving people around. Neat. All right, on to the
Doing
next
dances.
thing. Yeah, and then on to
With
the
your
next
sign.
thing. And then you're like painting with somebody. And you're like, this is pretty fun. And then
This
you
is
move.
cool.
Like, I would do that all the live long day. It'd be super
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it'd be a
Anyways,
cool gig.
last one that I have on my honorable mentions, Mike, The Hills.
The Hills.
Love The Hills. So mainly because I love making fun of it. Because it was just so stupid.
Yeah.
Like all their problems. You were like, these are not problems.
Was The Hills the follow-up to Laguna
Yes.
Beach?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was now they're grown-ups with jobs. And
I would
they're-
say I liked Laguna Beach. I didn't watch The Hills, but I did enjoy Laguna Beach.
Oh, The Hills was just added drama. And now they've got jobs. So now there's a bunch of scenes of them at work staring at each other when something happens, going... and just looking back and forth as some type of current music plays, and that's it. And yeah, I loved making fun of it. There were all kinds of stupid things on it, so it was very fun. Mike, give me the rest of your honorable mentions.
Last two, True Life
Uh-huh.
and Cops.
Cops! Oh, man. Cops. I can't believe I left off Cops. Oh. Cops, I mean, Cops is...
Bad boys. Oh, what you gonna do? Oh, what you...
Cops is horrible because it makes you think like all people that get arrested, one, deserve it, and two are morons, right? Because you watch it and it's like obviously it's staged and obviously they love the dumbest things possible. So you get these people, you get the classic person that's like, what? There was cocaine in my pants? That was my cocaine. These are my friend's pants, you know? And you're just like, oh, every person is that dumb. But like, it's just, it's so fun to watch, Mike. Mm-hmm. It's so fun.
It was a good show, man.
You also do get an appreciation. Like you do see both sides that you're like, oh my God, if I had to do that every day, there is no way I can make it as a cop. I would lose my sanity in 2 seconds. Like, no way, man. No way. Anyways, Mike.
Doc G, actually, I'm sorry. Can I throw one more honorable mention?
Throw it in.
This was embarrassing, but I'm going to throw it out there because I thought it was a good show. It really helped me out a lot at this age. But The Pickup Artist.
The
Pickup Artist.
I've never seen it. Never seen it. I'm guessing this
is exactly what you think.
This helps dudes pick up ladies.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty much the whole premise of the show. But I did, it helped
you learned
me,
a couple things.
Yeah, I learned a couple things.
I like it. I like it.
That's it.
Hey, thank you for adding the extra one, Mike.
That was it. That's it.
Mike, number 3 on my list, and this one again, it's not really a reality show. But this one I had to put in because I was like, it's so weird. American Pickers.
American Pickers, such a good show.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Most people that watch it, I think, are over the age of 70 and hate anything regarding change in the world and technology. But you know what? It's just cool. They go into places, and I'm like,
it's
what
like
is that?
Storage Wars.
Oh, that's
but
fun.
It's like, yeah.
Oh, wow. They found that. Like, it's just like, I think it's, and sad.
Oh, yeah, man.
Frank died recently.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. Yeah, Frank Fritz.
R.I.P.
Yeah, he died, I think it was like a couple months ago. So, sad. Anywho, good show. Mike, you're number 3.
Yeah. River Monsters.
Oh, God. Oh, I need to retroactively make this list, Mike. Retroactively, I'm taking off my next one.
There's just so many good shows that have come out. I mean, it's hard to know, yeah.
In reality, my number 2 is no longer what my number 2 is going to be. It is River Monsters. That is definitely the case. River Monsters is Jeremy Wade. Full disclosure, listeners, I have tried to get Jeremy Wade on this show for like 5 years. I have emailed his contacts. I have emailed him because 1, I love his voice.
Yeah.
2, my God, I would just if I could go on one of those trips, man. Now, I would be like, hey, Jeremy, when we finish filming, I'm going to take a helicopter out of here to the nearest AC hotel, and I'm going to enjoy a night there. I'll meet back up with you at about noon the next day. But, like, just so cool. Did you ever watch the one where he went to India for the Goonch catfish, Mike?
No. Well, I don't know, man. There were a couple catfish episodes. I don't remember exactly where he went, but
the Goonch is one of my favorite because the Goonch is like it looks like almost like a shark, and it was one of the most elusive. And like that was the first episode that got me hooked on some river monsters, and I was like, oh, I gotta keep watching this, man. This is awesome.
Yeah,
it was.
Wow.
Yeah,
that does look like a shark.
Yeah, it's a mean looking catfish, man. And the one that he caught was like 180 pounds or something like that.
Yeah,
you're like,
massive. Three guys it took to hold that thing.
You're like, dude, that's crazy, man. Like, and that's the thing is like, he really caught the fish. Like, that really happened. And you're like, That's impressive that you do that in like a week or whatever you do filming. Like like I would catch a fish that's like 3 inches long and be like, this is what I got. This is all that I caught.
Not a monster.
And it's not anywhere close to the species that we wanted. But it's what I got. But
it did seem like on every episode that he did catch like a prehistoric creature. And it was never an episode that I watched where I was like, another catfish? No, it was like he was catching unique, weird things every time.
He's going around the world, man. There's so many different species. One of the scariest ones, the tiger. What is it? The tiger. Is it just tigerfish? Yeah, tigerfish. Take a look at that tigerfish, Mike. Just look up tigerfish. It's in Africa. The African Goliath tigerfish. That thing is frightening. He pulled that mother out.
Oh my gosh, yeah, screw that noise.
With those teeth, and I was just
oh
like...
Oh my gosh, those teeth are absolutely not necessary for anything, just to make that fish extra scary.
Just frightening, and like, I mean, that was another one that he caught like I don't know, it was like a 35-pounder or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's terrifying.
The other one too, man, the one where he caught like a stingray in Thailand or something, where it took like a team of people to
the one that was
wrangle
800
that
pounds. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a great show.
Fantastic. I might retroactively move that to number 1. Oh my gosh. Mike, my number 2 before I remembered River Monsters. Laguna Beach.
Laguna Beach, yeah, man. Such a good show.
So much high school drama of stupidness that I was just like, oh my God, if I was a rich kid in Laguna Beach, that would be so amazing. Oh, I wish, if only, Just so, and of course, every girl is super good looking.
Oh my God, they're all hot.
And you're like, what? No offense to the ladies in my high school, but we are not playing against the same teams here. This is a whole different league,
So funny.
Anywho, Mike, you're number 2.
Survivor Man with Les Stroud.
That makes sense. That
was the real Survivor guy. Yeah. He was the true Survivor. There was no film crew.
No. That's what got everything. That's what got the Bear Grylls. That's what got all the, Never watched it though, Mike. Never watched it. Never really watched any of those shows like that.
I mean, it's kind of boring, but it is really interesting. I always got into it.
The person can die. You want to see how they don't die,
Yeah, exactly.
Mike, first on my list. And this one... I watched a good deal, but it's also it's the respect of it all. The Real World.
The Real World.
And it's just because it's what made reality shows.
Oh, yeah.
That was reality show. And like when it first came out, you were like, what? So it's just like cameras? And they're just, I was only like 7 when it came out, but I was like, what do they do? They're just people talking. Okay.
Yeah.
And it started a revolution. So,
Yeah. Any favorites? Real World?
No, I don't have any. I can't remember any particular. I mean, I know
I liked Hawaii.
There were a couple of seasons that I actually watched, like, most of them, but I don't remember any of them in particular. So.
Yeah. I only remember Hawaii. That's why I said Hawaii for me.
There you go. Mike, number 1.
Man vs. Wild.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't care if it's scripted. It's all scripted.
Yeah.
Bear Grylls was an entertainer.
Oh, yeah.
He was great.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, it's right up there with the River Monsters,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you said, all of them are scripted. They have something in there. They got directors that are sitting there going, "You're going to do this. You're going to do that. Don't do this.
Yeah.
We're going to you're going to put you here. You're going to look like this." But still super fun. You're looking at it, and he's like, "Oh my God, is that a scorpion? Oh, is he going to eat it? Oh, he's eating it. Oh, what is he going to do?" Like, it's good stuff, man.
Yeah. Go get the honey out of that bee's nest. Let's see how this goes.
How do you do that? Oh my God. Mike, fantastic list.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
You reminded me of some fantastic shows that I completely forgot to put on my list. I feel stupid for Cops. I feel stupid for River Monsters. Should have remembered those. Anyways, Mike, what do we have on the list for next week?
Top 3 fast food desserts.
Ooh. It's going to be tough.
It sounds like we've already done this, but we have not. I looked into it. Fast food desserts. Top 3.
Okay. I think I might have some that are like questionable fast food. Are we defining fast food that it has to be?
Oh, we can be broad. It doesn't have to be. It can be Chili's.
Good. They'd be upset if we were not endorsing them. So my top 3 answers will all be from Chili's. Good. Top 3 desserts from Chili's. That is next week. No, top 3 fast food desserts. Okay.
Yeah, fast food-ish desserts.
Okay. Got it. Mike, we've got 2 birthday suits left. Do you want the basketball player or the actress?
Let's go with the actress.
Okay, here we go. Born on November 13th, 1955 in New York City with the birth name Karen Elaine Johnson. Started acting at a young age and started training at the HB studio in New York. Her first on-screen appearance was in Citizen I'm Not Losing My Mind, I'm Giving It Away. In 1985, she played in The Color Purple, where she won the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress. Between 1985 and 1988, she was on 7 different films. She had a reoccurring role on Star Trek in 1990. She starred in Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore. Then in 1992, she starred in Sister Act. She continued making movies throughout the 90s and the 2000s. In 2007, she became a co-host of The View. She has been on the show for 17 years. In her career, she has been in over 100 movies. Name that birthday suit wearer.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg is correct.
Is it Goldberg or is it Goldberg?
Goldberg, I do believe.
G-O-L-D?
Let me just make sure. Yes, Goldberg. Yes.
Okay. Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg, which is obviously her stage name. Yes. Whoopi has a couple of different origins, as she says. One of them was that she got on stage and she would get gassy and would just fart on stage. And so I think it was one of the people that like did stand up with her was like, "You're like a whoopee cushion," and that was when. And I was like, I don't know if I'd want that name to stick. I don't know if that were actually where the name came. It's like, what's my stage name? Sir Farts a Lot. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Like, I don't know. Huh? But, if you own it, you own it.
It's definitely different. It's very unique.
Whoopi Goldberg. There it is, man. Yeah. You're never going to forget it. Speaking of another very unique name, we're going to go on to the old basketball player, Mike. Born on November 13th, 1970 in Queens, New York. Our birthday suit wearer loved basketball from a young age. He played at LaSalle Academy. He was recruited by St. John's for basketball, stayed there for 3 seasons. After his junior year, he entered the NBA draft. He was selected 16th overall by the Chicago Bulls in the 1999 draft. He spent 3 seasons with the Bulls before being traded to Indiana. While playing for the Pacers, he was an All-Star and Defensive Player of the Year. Then the next season, he was involved in a fight that broke out with the Detroit Pistons. The altercation became known as the Malice at the Palace. Our birthday suit wearer was suspended for 86 games, which remains the longest suspension ever for an on-court incident. He was traded to the Kings, then the Rockets, and finally the Lakers, where he spent 5 seasons. He came back to the Lakers and played from 2015 to 2017. Over his career, he was a 4-time All-Defensive Player, and in 2010, he was an NBA champion with the Lakers. In 2011, he changed his name. In 2020, he changed his name again. Name that birthday suit wearer.
I mean, I'm blanking out on the name, but I know it's Meta World Peace. I just can't remember.
That is the correct name that he changed, Mike. Nicely done.
Nice.
Meta World Peace is correct. Now, he changed that name. Do you not remember the original?
It's like R-A-R something.
No, R-A.
R-A. No. I don't
Yeah,
know.
oh, you had it.
Was it Ron Artest? No.
Close enough. Ron Artest. Yes.
Ron Artest.
Yeah, there you go. Ron Artest. Nicely done, Mike. Got both of them.
Thanks.
Now, he changed his name in 2020 to Meta Sandiford Artest. So he changed it to a hyphenated name with his wife now.
Okay.
So he
Cool.
decided to get rid of the world peace. He decided that he was not going to spread world peace. So he was like, you know what? Back to the regular surnames. There we go. So there it is. Ron Artest, man. Meta world peace. Meta Sandiford Artest. There we go. Yeah. Won a championship. Won Defensive Player of the Year. Got thrown out for 86 games. Which is always just wild. They came down way too hard on that.
Yeah.
I always think they just came down like there were way worse fights, in my opinion, before that. Anyways,
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Ron Artest. Happy birthday to Whoopi Goldberg. And lastly, happy birthday to Jimmy Kimmel. Mike, we got to wrap it up for this week. But we got some great shows coming up. Can't wait for them. It's going to be good. Going to be the continued clusterfuck that you expect. Until then, I've been your host, Doc G. With me, as always, the one, the only, Mikey Maximus, the Fernicus, Charette.
Always a pleasure, Doc G. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And until next week, zip it up and zip it out.
Zippity-doo-dah.